You're not broken. You're in between identities. You wake up and you don't recognize the person you've become, not because you've changed too much, but because you've changed just enough to no longer fit where you used to belong. This isn't a break, it's something else entirely. You used to know who you were. There were patterns, predictable reactions, a sense of direction. But now you're standing in a room full of people who used to feel like home, and they feel like strangers. Or worse, you feel like the stranger. You second-guess everything. The job that once excited you now feels hollow. The relationships that once energized you now drain you. The goals you chased for years suddenly seem irrelevant. And the worst part? You can't explain it to anyone, because from the outside, nothing catastrophic happened. No trauma, no dramatic event, just a quiet unraveling. Psychologists call this identity dissolution. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. And your brain wasn't designed to handle it well. Here's what nobody tells you. This confusion isn't a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a sign that something's right. You're outgrowing an old operating system. Think of identity like a psychological skin. When you're young, you build one quickly, based on your family, your culture, your early experiences. It protects you, guides you, tells you how to act. But over time, as you accumulate experiences that don't fit that skin, it starts to crack. And the period between the old skin falling off and the new one forming, that's where you are right now. You're not broken, you're molting. And molting, by definition, is uncomfortable. Your brain relies on something called self-schemas. These are mental shortcuts, automatic beliefs about who you are. I'm the responsible one. I'm the creative type. I'm not good with people. Self-schemas help you make decisions quickly. They reduce cognitive load. But here's the catch. When life demands that you act outside your schema, your brain treats it like a threat. Because to your nervous system, consistency equals safety. If you've always been the rational one, and suddenly you want to take a creative risk, your brain sounds the alarm, not because the risk is dangerous, but because it's inconsistent. This is why identity transitions feel so destabilizing. You're not just changing what you do, you're challenging your brain's core prediction model. And when predictions fail, anxiety spikes. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett calls this prediction error. Your brain is constantly predicting what will happen next based on past patterns. When you act in ways that contradict those patterns, your system goes haywire. It doesn't mean you're making the wrong choice. It means you're making an unfamiliar choice, and unfamiliar always feels wrong at first. So how do you move through this space without losing yourself? Not by forcing clarity, but by learning to exist in ambiguity. Here are 5 principles grounded in psychology. 1. Name the in-between. Psychologist William Bridges studied life transitions for decades. He found that people who explicitly name their in-between period cope better. Don't say, "I don't know who I am anymore." Say, "I'm in between identities right now." That simple reframe activates a different part of your brain. Instead of triggering the threat response, it activates narrative processing. And narrative processing is calming. It tells your nervous system, this is temporary. This has structure. You're not lost. You're in chapter 2. 2. Practice identity experiments. Identity researcher Dan McAdams describes identity formation as a process of narrative revision. You're not discovering a fixed true self. You're authoring yourself in real time. So try things on. Small experiments, low stakes. Take that class. Have that conversation. Try that hobby. Not to find the answer, but to gather data. Each experiment adds a sentence to your new story, and over time, the story takes shape. 3. Anticipate resistance. This is the hardest part. Some people in your life are attached to the old version of you, and when you change, they feel destabilized too. Psychologist Dr. Harriet Lerner writes about change-back attacks. When you evolve, the people around you unconsciously try to pull you back to equilibrium, not out of malice, out of discomfort. Expect resistance. Expect confusion, and don't let their discomfort convince you to shrink back. Some relationships will adapt, some won't. That's not failure.
That's discernment. 4. Anchor in values. When everything feels chaotic, your brain craves continuity. So give it some, not by clinging to the old identity, but by noticing the threads that carry forward. What still lights you up? What still pisses you